Hey everyone, we're gonna just give it a few more minutes here to let some of the others trickle in before we get started. Probably just another minute or two. I will remind everyone we do have a Q&A in the meeting window if you want to go ahead and um, note that throughout the webinar you can ask your questions in there, and then we're actually going to have a live Q&A at the end. So we will get to those questions there at the end. Okay, we're a couple minutes past now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get us started here. Hey everyone, welcome to the next webinar in our series called The Digital Door. This webinar, we're going to be talking about advertising. So let's get started here. Kind of going over who you might hear from throughout the webinar series. You might already be familiar with me. I have conducted all of them up to this point. I am the growth strategist and SEO and SEM manager at GoToPartners. Amy Carmen, who's our senior account manager, is our representative, and any questions that you might have about our programs and stuff, that would be your go-to contact. And then Dave Carlin, who is our partner at GoTo. Robin Zabrecki, if you're familiar with her name, she's the digital communications manager at Clopay. So today we're gonna kind of be introducing you to how Clopay and GoToPartners work together, and then we'll move in an introduction into online advertising, where we'll cover the importance of digital marketing and the platforms that can help you reach your different goals. We'll explore those specific platforms, starting with Meta. We'll go into Yelp, and then we'll kind of explore Google Ads a little bit more. From there, we'll discuss Google Guarantee. We've had a lot more questions come up about that, and so we're going to touch on that today. We'll give you some tips and tricks as to creating effective Google Ads campaigns. And then AI being so popular nowadays and having such a big impact in marketing in general, we'll kind of discuss how AI is impacting advertising in particular. And then, like always, we're going to finish up with a Q&A session. And then we'll give you guys more resources and a little glimpse as to what is to come in the next webinar. Okay, so Clopay and GoToPartners. Clopay, obviously, as you know, is a leader in the manufacturing or garage door manufacturing business. All you guys should be dealers with Clopay, and then we have become one of the preferred digital marketing agencies with over 15 plus years in the garage door industry. And so we help support about 80 different dealers currently. And we have different benefits, program benefits, such as exclusive website tools and content, discounts, and specific designs for Clopay dealer websites. And so after that, we're going to kind of jump right into the introduction to online advertising. All right. So unfortunately, online advertising is not a luxury anymore. It's kind of a necessity to compete in the digital first world today. At its core, online advertising is about reaching new audiences who might not have found you through traditional channels. It's about driving traffic to your website, generating new leads, and ultimately converting those leads into loyal customers. But beyond those, we have the ability to track and measure results in real time, which means you can continuously refine your strategies based on what's working and what's not, and ensure that your advertising efforts are always aligned with your goals. So kind of talking into the platforms I mentioned earlier, we're going to go into specifically Google, Meta, and Yelp in this webinar. However, there are endless amount of other platforms you can advertise on. Those are just the three that we typically run into the most, and the three that you guys are asking the most questions about. So we want to keep it as pertinent to you as possible. And then, the goals of an online advertising are pretty straightforward. You want to drive traffic to your site and generate leads and boost sales, but there is more to it. Effective online advertising can also help you build your brand recognition, position yourself as a leader in your industry and outshine your competitors. By carefully crafting your ad campaigns and choosing the right platforms, you can achieve these goals and see a strong return on your investment, which that's the reason we're all here. So we are going to help reach those goals through advertising. So when we're talking about advertising on Meta, obviously you guys might notice Facebook. It's one of the most powerful advertising platforms available, and it offers a wide range of flexible ad formats to suit whatever needs you may have. So let's start with that. You can choose some static image ads, which are great for simple, straightforward messages. Video ads allow you to tell a little bit more dynamic story, capturing some attention with motion and sound. Carousel ads enable you to showcase multiple products and features in a single ad, so to speak, giving you users another way to engage. And collection ads combine images, video into a different type of experience, driving some deeper engagement. And then finally, instant experience offer a full screen interactive type of experience, which is really good for a mobile user. And so advertising capabilities, it's very essential to simplify your account when you're setting up your ad structure in Meta. Consider your ad groups and creatives in a single campaign allows Meta's machine learning, which you obviously want to take advantage of, and let it do what it does best, and that's to optimize performance. Meta's AI can test different combinations of creative and audience targeting to find the most effective approach. This not only saves you time, it ensures that your budget is being spent in the most efficient way possible. Another aspect and utilizing Meta's tools is retargeting and the conversion API. Retargeting allows you to reconnect with users, consumers that have already interacted with your business. Say they've gone to your website and you want to bring them back. And so you can set up ads in order to retarget those consumers and hopefully lead them down to a purchase. The conversion API allows you to track those conversions more accurately and send events directly from your server to Meta. So that's very, very beneficial as far as understanding the ROI from your ads on Meta. And then lastly, you always want to test and optimize. With everything constantly changing, whatever works today might not work tomorrow. And so making sure that you're regularly testing different ad elements, such as copy, creative, or the audience, you can kind of better identify what resonates with your audience and scale appropriately. Okay, and so Yelp. This one's fairly new as far as what people are asking about, but it is very powerful. I'll start down at the bottom there. As you can see, 97% of consumers make a purchase with the business found on Yelp. 90% of people that search on Yelp make a purchase within a week, and then 51% purchase within a day. So those stats kind of speak for themselves. It's a very good platform to get involved with because people are there at the bottom of the funnel, they're ready to convert and ready to give business to somebody. So let's talk a little bit about how they work. Yelp is keyword-based, meaning they appear when users search for specific terms related to your business. But Yelp takes it a little bit further than Google does. So advertising on Yelp, you can show up in the top 10. I'm sure you've seen that on Google. So that is a separate thing that just gives you more visibility on the search engine results pages. And then it also integrates with voice search, like Alexa and Siri, making your business even more accessible to users. In addition to the keyword-based ads, Yelp offers a suite of profile enhancements that can significantly improve your visibility and conversion rates. For example, you can add business highlights to showcase what makes your business unique. Use call to action buttons. We've talked about it in the past, making sure those call to action buttons are very clear, and you want to make sure that the consumer, the user, knows exactly what you're wanting them to do. You can create slideshows and portfolios to demonstrate your different offerings. And then one of the most valuable features is the ability to remove competitor ads from your profile. So you can ensure that customers stay focused on your business and they're not going to be distracted by any other competitors in your area. Okay, and so now we're going to talk a little bit about Google Ads. Obviously, being extremely popular, it's a very easy way to drive traffic to your website. And it's by far one of the most powerful tools in order to do so. So a little bit of overview of the different types of ads. There's more than what are listed here, but specifically to your industry, these are probably the most relevant. So first we have search ads, which appear at the top of the Google search results. These ads are triggered by keywords like Yelp is, and you get to choose them. So largely based off of intent, you want to choose keywords that are driving more bottom of funnel traffic if you're wanting to convert more users. And then next we have display ads. Those are obviously visual ads that appear across Google's network of websites. It's called the Google Display Network. It reaches over 90% of internet users worldwide, giving you a large potential of just a wider audience reach. Display ads are particularly effective for building brand awareness and keeping your business top of mind as users browse the web. And then video ads. They play before, during, or after videos on YouTube, as well as across the Google Display Network. Video ads are highly engaging and can be used to tell a story, showcase customer testimonials, or demonstrate how your product might work. Each of the ad formats serves a different performance or purpose, but they all work together to reach your audience and at various stages of the customer journey, from initial brand awareness to final conversion. So the benefits of Google Ads. There's a wide range of benefits. And the first one, obviously, is the reach. With billions of daily searches and a vast display network and search network, Google Ads allows you to connect with a huge audience across the globe. Whether your goal is to increase brand awareness, drive traffic, or generate leads, Google provides the scale you need to reach those objectives. Another one is advanced targeting capabilities. So they do allow you to target on a variety of different things like demographics, geographic location, and interests, which means you can reach the exact people who are most likely to be interested in your products or services, and just increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of your campaign. Next, we have measurable results. You can track and measure every aspect of your campaign's performance in real time. A lot of this comes from tools like Google Tag Manager, which I've mentioned in the past. Being able to track those events through Google Tag Manager or Google Analytics will give you indication of how well things are performing and how well they aren't, allowing you to kind of understand what's working, what's not working, and make adjustments as needed. Next, we got cost control. Obviously, Google Ads works in a pay-per-click type of model, meaning you pay for when somebody clicks on your ad. This allows you to control your costs a little bit better and make sure that your budget is being spent effectively. You can also set a daily or monthly budget to stay within whatever is comfortable for you. And then lastly, ad extensions. It just allows you to enhance your ads with additional information like location, phone number, site links, etc. It just makes them more useful, and honestly, it takes up more, we'll call it real estate, on the search engine results page. So the more real estate you can take up on the search engine results page, the more likelihood you are to get clicks and traffic to your site. All right, and so next we're going to kind of talk about Google Guaranteed. So what is it? Essentially, Google Guaranteed is a badge that businesses can earn by passing Google's background checks, which include licensing and insurance verification. And when your business is Google Guaranteed, your local service ads display a green check mark, kind of similar to the one on the right there, signaling to consumers and potential customers that you're a reliable and vetted provider. But how does it work? So when a customer sees your Google Guaranteed ad, they feel confident that your business has met Google's standards for quality and trustworthiness. This just adds a layer of trust that can significantly boost your conversion rates, as customers are more likely to choose a business that has been vetted by a reputable third party like Google. Another benefit is the increased visibility. These ads appear, I'm sure you guys have noticed, at the very top of Google search engine results pages, even above like the traditional Google ads like we just discussed, giving your business premium, like that premium real estate placement on the search engine results pages. Obviously, that prime positioning only attracts more clicks, but also helps you dominate your local market by standing out from the competition. A little different than the Google ad side of things where it's pay-per-click. Google Guaranteed is pay-per-lead. So you have the ability to only pay for when Google gives you a legitimate lead. And yes, like there are instances where they can charge you that it's not a legitimate lead, but they do have things in place where you can dispute those charges and then listen to those phone calls and say it's not a legitimate lead. And in most cases, in my experience, they've done a really good job of refunding or giving you a credit for future ad spend. And then lastly, the customer confidence as far as like the businesses being eligible for up to $2,000 in refunds if they're unsatisfied with the service. That's just something that consumers are starting to look for nowadays. Say something happens within the sale process and they believe that they should be refunded because Google has guaranteed the confidence in your business, they can be or they can help financially as far as refunds are concerned. And then I kind of talked a little bit about the benefits. You get the increased visibility, the higher conversion rates because you're paying per lead, the reduced competition because of the background checks and stuff that they do. There's not as many people as of right now that are Google Guaranteed. I would recommend at least looking into it. It does take a little bit longer to become Google Guaranteed. In my experience, it takes a couple of months. But I also think that it is very beneficial because in the end, you're paying per lead and you're going to get your money's worth. All right, moving into creating effective Google Ads campaigns. So there's several key steps, each of which is crucial to the success of your efforts, your advertising efforts. The first being keyword research. This is where you identify the terms that your potential customers are using to find your products and services. So tools like Google Keyword Planner can help you discover different keywords and gauge their search volume and competitiveness. By targeting the right keywords, you can ensure that your ads are seen by the people most likely interested in what you have to offer. From there, once you identify those keywords, it's starting to draft that ad copy. So your ad copy should be clear, should be concise and engaging, and should have that strong call to action that we mentioned before. Make sure it's very clear and you're telling the user what you want them to do. Use your headlines to make a strong first impression and use your description to provide more details and enhance or entice users to learn a little bit more about you. Landing pages are another critical component of a campaign. Your landing page is where users will go after clicking on your ad, so it's important that it's optimized for conversions. The landing page should match the content and intent of your ad, providing a seamless experience for the user. This means that your ad is promoting a specific product. The landing page should feature that product prominently, along with a clear and easy path to reach out or learn more. And then we got bidding strategies. There's various bidding strategies offered in Google Ads, depending on your campaign goals. You can choose different bidding options, such as, just regular cost per click, a cost per acquisition goal. And so say your budget's $50 a day and you want to get a cost per acquisition of, $25 a day. And so Google's going to optimize the campaign. And as long as you're watching it pretty closely and helping Google out as much as possible, they're going to try their best to get you a cost per acquisition that fit your goals. And so your bidding strategy should align with your overall campaign objectives. There could be instances where you're wanting to just drive as much traffic as possible, so you can do stuff like maximizing clicks, and that way you're less worried about the intent, and you're saying, just give me all the people interested in garage doors. I want all that traffic coming to my site. There's just different ways to go about it, and so just whatever matches your goal for the campaign, that's the best route to go. And then lastly, we got A/B testing. By testing different elements of your ads, such as the headlines that we discussed, the descriptions, and the different call to actions, you can determine which versions perform the best and continually refine your campaigns for better results. It's not just like a one-time thing. You should be continuously testing different variables to ensure you're always performing the best you can. All right, and now AI in advertising. AI obviously is playing a big role nowadays in pretty much everything that we do. So let's talk a little bit about the different ways you can enhance your advertising efforts by using AI. First, AI allows for improved targeting personalization. By analyzing vast amounts of data, AI can help you identify the exact audience segments that are most likely to respond to your ads. This means you can deliver more personalized and relevant messages, which in turn increase engagement and conversion rates. Next is the automated ad creation and optimization. Using AI, you can automatically generate ad creatives based on your goals and audience data. AI can optimize your ads in real time, making adjustments to bidding, targeting, and creative elements to improve performance as your campaign runs. These platforms are utilizing different algorithms and models, AI models, to make all of your campaigns perform better, and doing so with less human interaction. So that's something that you should definitely take advantage of. Next, we got predictive analytics and insights. AI can use historical data to predict trends and outcomes, which obviously allows you to make more informed decisions about your advertising strategy. Like what channels to invest in. If there's a different platform you should look at, say pulling some money out of Google and putting it on Facebook into Yelp, various different ways that you can go about it. But it also makes your campaigns more efficient. Automating routine tasks and providing actionable insights, it allows you to focus on a higher level strategy and creative. This leads to more effective campaigns and better results overall. Lastly, like anything AI related, be careful. It has its benefits, but it's not like end all be all. It's essential to make sure that your AI strategies, and when you're utilizing AI, it aligns with your brand's values, making sure that if you're utilizing AI for copy and stuff like that, making sure that it makes sense to you and it's exactly how you want your brand portrayed. But don't be afraid of AI. I think it's very good to use in your advertising efforts. There's a lot of different benefits, obviously, to utilizing AI, but always be careful. And so that's kind of all we have as far as AI is concerned, or advertising is concerned. So we're going to kind of open it up now to a Q&A. If you guys want to go ahead and drop your questions in the chat, if you haven't been doing so, we're going to go ahead and answer those now. We have any? I'm not seeing a whole lot of Q&A, any at all. Yeah, go ahead and drop your questions if you have them. I do have some frequently asked questions here that we can go over if you guys can't think of any. So I'll just give it just a second here, and if you guys think of some, drop them in. Thanks for the question, Ellie. Can you kind of expand what you mean by how we do it? I'd love to kind of dive into a little bit more. Is there a particular platform you're talking about, or um, if you could just kind of clarify what you mean by that, and then I'd love to address it. Is Yelp more popular in the States? I am in Quebec. Yes, I would say Yelp is definitely more popular in the States. It is utilized pretty frequently, several million searches minimum per month. Um, and there's a lot of benefits. As you can see, people are willing and ready to convert anytime they're searching on Yelp. What was it, like 51%, I believe I said, convert within the same day. So yeah, I would say Yelp is definitely more popular in the States. I don't even know if they've really broken into the Canadian market as of right now. Like on SEO and PPC. So SEO different than PPC. SEO is the organic side. PPC being the pay per click is the non-organic side. So you're paying for all of that traffic. And so there should be some sort of mix of strategies that you're creating and executing that have that are addressing, certain keywords and content on the SEO side versus the PPC side. They can definitely work in tandem to give you the best results possible. What do you recommend for the best use of Yelp? In the sense of advertising, I would definitely say some of those profile enhancements are a really good way to stand out a little bit more. That taking the competitors off of um, your page is huge. I mean, how many times do you go and look at a restaurant or something like that and you're like, oh, well, this looks kind of good, and you go and poke around at something else. So I would definitely recommend taking advantage of some of those profile enhancements when you're advertising. That can be a big lift for you. Does disputing a lead with Google kind of count against you, meaning you will start seeing less leads after a while? I haven't experienced that. Um, and in my time doing it and kind of dealing with Google Guaranteed, um, quite honestly, Google's not the easiest to work with. But on the Google Guaranteed side, I would say that they've been pretty responsible and responsive, and giving you credit towards leads that weren't legitimate or anything like that. They're pretty honest and open about it. So yeah, I would say it's been one of the better experiences on the Google side of things that I've had. Okay, and so there's some more questions here. Um, so here's some FAQs that we get asked quite a bit, and as you guys have more, please drop them in the chat, and I can get to those too. We always get asked, what my budget should be, and that kind of varies. I mean, it varies where you're located, um, largely, and then kind of what you're comfortable with. I would say that that's my number one answer to anybody. You don't have to start advertising with a massive budget. You can definitely start small and then grow from there. Take what you learn, and then start to grow based on what you learn and what you're seeing. So I would always recommend starting at what you're comfortable with. There isn't necessarily a set minimum, or you have to come in and spend, thousands upon thousands of dollars a month in order to see some results. How many leads can you expect to get is a pretty popular one. Again, that varies. It's going to be largely dependent on your budget and how much you're willing to spend. And then also how well the campaigns are optimized as far as, Google ad, the quality of the ad rank and stuff like that. The quality score, sorry, and the ad rank, that plays a huge factor into the amount of leads that you can get, as well as the budget, and then where you're located and the amount of competition that's around you. And then how long does it take to see results? Typically, we say, 2 to 4 weeks minimum, to kind of start learning the area, and start getting some initial results so we can kind of make some adjustments from there. But then since it is advertising,
you are going to start seeing some results almost immediately. So I would say 2 to 4 weeks to get through like the learning phase. And then after that, you should start seeing a little bit more results month over month and then year over year. And then what are quality score and ad rank? These are two factors that Google takes into consideration um, when showing your ads. Quality score is basically just a metric that they say, the content and the intent and the possibility of somebody converting on your website is high. So they're going to show your ad a little bit more than, say, somebody else possibly. Even if you might have like a little bit lower bid, they obviously want to provide the best possible experience for users. And so they want them to find what's pertinent to them and relevant to them. And if your ad is going to do that, then they in a lot of instances will rank you higher than others. And then what bid strategy? This kind of goes back into that one slide about the different bidding strategies. It just depends on what your goals are. I mean, if your goals are just driving as much traffic as possible, then you're looking at, maximizing clicks and target impression share and stuff like that. And then if you're focused a little bit more on the lead side of things, it can be a various different things like maximizing conversion value, which you can say at Google, I like receiving phone calls more than I do seeing form submissions. You say you get better conversion rates and people buying when they call you versus on the form submission side. So you can say, I want to attribute, just a random dollar amount, say like $5 for a phone call and like $1 for a form submission. Google's going to optimize for those phone calls over form submissions, but still take into consideration that you still do want those form submissions. And so there are different ways to go about it. It just kind of depends on what your goals are. And then remarketing, I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but you can do this by saying, these people that have visited my site, I want to retarget them with ads. They should already be familiar with your brand if they've been on the site and poking around. And so we want to try and capture that conversion if we can. It should be cheaper to do so than somebody that's brand new. And so trying to bring them back to the site and some different remarketing campaigns. Okay, so that's a good chunk of the FAQs that we typically see. Let's see. Which option is showing the best ROI? Laura, where are you located? Oh, for your industry, sorry, not where your location. Um, I think that depends. I think it depends largely where you are located. We see some people get some really good results on Yelp, and then we see some people get some really good results on Google. It kind of just depends on where you're located, what your budget is, and what the competition is around you. So if there's a lot of people advertising on Google in your area, but there's only a couple of people on Yelp, then I would say, put your dollars on Yelp and you'll probably see a little bit better results, and then vice versa if that's the case. Okay, I think that should be all of the questions. If you guys have any more, please drop them. If you can't think of them now or want to touch base later, we can connect. Feel free to send me a connection on LinkedIn, shoot me an email. My contact information is there at the top, christian.gray@gotopartners.com. And then you can obviously reach out to any of the people below, Parker and Amy and Robin on the Clopay side. Also, go to the growth.gotopartners.com/clopayhome. You'll find information about our different programs, what we have to offer. You'll see the recording of this webinar. We'll also send it out after this is over. And then you'll also see the previous webinars as well. So make sure you go and look at those. Follow us on social. And then if you're not really sure who to reach out to, any of us for, just contact your Clopay rep and they can take care of you. I think that is
Christian. It looks
Yeah.
like we have a few more questions that came through the chat. It looks like Eric asked, how many posts a week would you suggest on a Facebook campaign? And they're asking, is every day too much?
So I think that's on the organic side. So I think you're just talking about posting on Facebook. On the advertising side, those are just going out all day, every day, unless you specify otherwise. So you can say, I only want to show ads during a certain amount of time, during, the 8 to noon side of things. But yeah, on the organic side, I would say just a consistent basis a couple of times a week is probably all that you guys really need in your industry for the most part. I don't think a daily post is necessary. I think the thing that you need to focus on is more the quality and the relevancy of what you're posting. Does your audience really care about it, or is it kind of just filler content and something that you're just trying to get something out there to get out there? I would say recommend, a couple times a week, unless you just have that much content, information and insight that you're wanting to share more often. That's useful for the audience. And then by all means, like, go for it.
Looks like we have another question about how do they get started with the Google Guaranteed?
Follow up with me after this. I have a link that I can shoot you guys. They'll start asking, some questions on how to like information to fill out. They will likely ask you for documentation about like your business, so government issued documents and stuff like that. Again, it can take a little bit of time. Please be patient. But follow up with me after this and I can shoot you that link.
Like we have another question from Angel. They've been running ads and have not had much luck in their campaign. They're asking if you have any tips as far as recommendations. Is video or flyer better?
Curious what type of ads you are running. Let me know. Video or flyer better? I would say track both and then go from there. On the flyer, if you have like a QR code or something like that, that people can scan, something that you can track on your side to compare the results. And then that's where I would put your dollars. So kind of just depends, but I would say lean on the data, and then kind of go from there.
Looks like we have a few questions regarding the services that we provide to dealers.
Okay.
So Christian, I don't know if you want to answer that or if you want me to answer that one.
Go for it. And I know that's your wheelhouse. So
So there are several services that we provide. We obviously can create websites for you. We also offer some digital marketing services that our very own Christian takes care of that.
yep.
So
So
let us
anything
know.
from-
We'd be happy to schedule a call. We can talk one-on-one to kind of figure out what your goals are, and we can provide some recommendations on what we can do for you.
Yep.
Yeah, if you hear anything about anything that GoToPartners has as a service that's available and you have more questions, you can feel free to just send an email to my email address down there, parker.morgan@gotopartners.com. And if you can just give us a little bit of background on what specifically it is that you're interested in, whether that's the website, or if you're also interested in some of the marketing services, if you can just include that info and we can get a meeting with the team scheduled. And that just lets me know who I need to invite to make sure that we have the experts available to answer any of your questions.
Yep.
Looks like we do have one more question about the Google Guaranteed. They're asking if it's available everywhere or only to specific areas.
I don't think it's available in Canada, if that's where you're asking about. I want to say I haven't ran into an instance where it's not available somewhere in the United States. But I don't think it's available in Canada currently. No problem. I think, is that all that we have trickling in here? Oh, Carissa, I just saw yours. I apologize. I've been called by several companies wanting to sell AI services. What is the best way to get started with AI? I think the best way to kind of start is to do some testing yourself, kind of see what it's about, and what it can offer you. The best way to kind of get immersed in the AI world is to take a look at ChatGPT if you haven't done so already. Start playing around with it, and then you'll start to kind of understand the capabilities of it. I'm curious what they're trying to sell you. But as far as like on the advertising side of things, like there's a lot of tools built in the platforms such as Google and Meta and Yelp that help you. You wouldn't even probably realize it's AI, but they just help generate different reports, ad creatives, ad copy, that kind of stuff.
I do have a question, Christian, from Jerry. He's asking if you have any stats on how effective Yelp is in Canada.
I can get back to you, Jerry. I think I should have your information following the webinar here. So once we get done with this, I will follow up with you personally and see if I can find anything for you. Okay. Couple interested in Yelp. Okay. I will also follow up with you, Ghislaine, and then we'll kind of go from there. Let me, are you in Canada as well? Yes. Okay. Yep. I have some homework to do. For our friends up north. So, yep, I will get back with both of you personally, and then we'll kind of go from there.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Did we answer Eric's question about disputing a lead with Google?
Yeah, but just in case somebody missed it, or Eric, if you missed it, I apologize if I wasn't clear or anything. Disputing on Google has been pretty good in my experience. On other things, Google does tend to struggle and support. But I would say on the Google Guaranteed side, because they've been pushing it so much recently, their support has been very good, and then the disputes themselves have been pretty honest. So I've seen people that are talking about, not even anything related to a business, and I'll just go in and click the quick dispute button, and Google's been pretty good about saying if you're right, I'll give you your money back. And so, yeah, I would say it's a pretty good experience overall. And then planning on doing another session on advertising. I'm not, but again, like if you want to follow up afterwards, I'd be happy to have a discussion or answer any questions you may have. Actually leads perfectly into this. Our next webinar is going to be about SEO. So I know a couple of you were talking about SEO on this one, and we're going to do a little bit deeper dive in our next webinar. So be on the lookout for an email for an invitation in the next couple of months for that one.
Looks like there is one more question that just popped in.
Yeah.
What about the fake Google Guaranteed companies?
Don't fall for it. It's it should only be triggered by you. And again, I can give you guys the links to start that Google Guarantee process. But if somebody's reaching out to you to be Google Guaranteed, I would not trust it. Okay.
Ellie provided a follow-up to that question, said they are showing everywhere under same names or under some local companies. What is the effective process to stop them?
Is that the Google Guaranteed?
Yes, the
Oh.
fake Google Guaranteed companies. So let me see. Talking about accounts that show up on our area. So you're saying businesses who claim to be Google Guaranteed but actually aren't?
Yes. Are they showing up like They were under some names and under some local companies. Are they showing up in like the search results pages? Is that where you're finding them and like maps and stuff like that?
Correct. So they have fake reviews, but they're showing under the Google guaranteed.
I think, I mean, there should be ways to report a business to Google if you're seeing that. I know that there's a lot more. I mean, in recent years, Google's tried to crack down on all like the fake companies and essentially like lead generation companies for within the industry, trying to get more people to go through these advanced verifications and stuff like that to run ads and to get verified for your Google business profile and that kind of thing. Um, they haven't done the best job, but I mean, you still should be able to report them. Um, if not, like it is kind of like a catch 22. I haven't found a whole lot of things that we can do on our end to like help stop those. It's just kind of trying to, worry about what you can control and doing different tactics in digital marketing and stuff like that in order to try and overcome it. But I think there should be ways on your end that you can report them if possible.
Christian, it looks like April had a question about getting Google verified. They were told that garage door companies are recognized as not reputable. They're asking if that's true.
Not in my experience, no. You should still be able to get Google guaranteed or Google verified, whichever one you're referring to. I have a number of dealers that have gone through the advanced verification. Again, it's not the easiest process, but we do have a number of dealers that are advanced verified and gone through the Google guarantee and stuff like that. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's been different in your experience, but if you want to follow up, we can see if we can get you verified or guaranteed, whichever one.
It is more difficult for this industry than most. Is that right, Christian?
I'm sorry, say that again, Parker. I was trying to read some stuff.
It is more difficult for this industry than
It is.
most.
Yes, it is.
A lot of
It
hoops.
is frustrating. There is a lot of hoops and stuff that they make you jump through. Like I said, I mean, in my experience, on average, it takes about 2 months just sending document after document. And some days it's just kind of the luck of the draw and who you get. There's been times where we'll send the same document 2 or 3 different times, and then randomly one time they'll accept it, and the other times they won't, to kind of depending on who reads your emails and who you talk to. But yeah, it is a frustrating process. I would recommend, stay patient as possible if you can. Another benefit is you wouldn't have to deal with them as much if you kind of worked with us. We can hopefully take some of that burden off of you guys, but yeah, it's not fun. They will make you send a number of documents to try and prove your legitimacy. Okay. Am I missing anything?
We have a question. Is it worth it to get Google guaranteed for their industry?
I would say it is if you have the patience for it. I would definitely say so. Again, you're paying per lead, so there's not a whole lot of risk, and you're showing up at the very top of the search engine results page. And so there is a big benefit if you're willing to kind of put up with some of the hoops and stuff that Google makes you jump through.
Like we have one more question. Is there an average cost per lead on PPC?
depends on where you're at and how, like, what competition and stuff is around you and who's running ads and stuff like that. I would say a good rule of thumb is what I've seen is if you're in a large metro area, say if you're like in the Atlanta, LA, like some major city, obviously there's going to be a lot more competition. It'll cost a little bit more. But if you're have a lot less competition, it should not cost as much, obviously, as those large metro areas. So it can range. I've seen as low as $15, $20, and I've seen as high as, upwards of $90, $100. So.
Okay, it looks like might have answered all the questions. If you guys have any additional questions, you have our contact information. Feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, and then we can answer any other questions you may have. Again, look out for the next webinar invite, and we appreciate you guys taking the time today. Hopefully you took something away from this, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.